So today you are going to learn how you can make your own natural medicine to treat fungal infections like athlete's foot. And not only will this antifungal medicine that we're going to learn how to make today, not only will it treat athlete's foot, but it's also supposed to treat other fungal infections such as ringworm and jock itch, fungal scalp infections, and supposedly even vaginal yeast infections too. But that's a pretty hotly debated subject if this should be used for that or not. So if you or a loved one develop some type of a fungal infection after things go sideways and you just can't run to the nearest pharmacy, this video might provide an answer for you. And this video is just one video in a whole playlist that I am doing on how natural medicines can be made in a grid down emergency situation. And I'm going to consume on video every natural medicine that I make so that you can see that they didn't kill me. Now let's get on with it. So let's now jump into how you can make your own antifungal, anti-athlete's foot medicine, natural medicine, in a grid down situation. So the medicine that we're going to make today is going to be an antifungal tincture that is made from the hulls of the black walnuts from a black walnut tree that grows wild here on my property. So what is it about the black walnut hulls that makes it such a good natural medicine to act as an antifungal? First, the hulls contain juglone, which is antifungal. Juglone is toxic to many types of different fungi. It's also antimicrobial, and it also helps to stop the itching that comes with fungal infections like athlete's foot. So now, since we know why the hulls of black walnuts make such a great antifungal natural medicine, let's now make that antifungal tincture that you can make yourself in a grid down situation. So I like to collect black walnuts when they are ripe and when they just start falling or they're ready to fall. I want them to be green without too much black on them. But I definitely don't want them where they're starting to really turn black or really starting to split open. So when I harvest these, I want these to be where they are mature, but they are still green. I like to harvest them when they very first start to fall out of the tree, and many times actually get them out of the tree right before they fall. But I definitely don't want them when the hulls are really ripe and starting to turn black. I want them to be mostly green still. So I'm going to collect these from a tree that's growing wild from my property. Now after cleaning the hulls, now I'm going to remove them by hitting them with this hammer to knock the hulls off of the black walnuts themselves. And if you notice, I'm definitely wearing gloves doing this because these bad boys will stain your hands. But after I get the hull off of it, I'm just going to stick the hull into the mason jar here. And of course, when I pack the hulls into this jar, I'm not going to stuff the jar completely full, but about 3/4 of the way full. And of course, when I pack the holes into this jar, I'm not going to jam pack them, but with the air space, I want this about 3/4 of the way full. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these holes up even smaller so they'll fit inside the jar better. And then as I cut them, I will put them back into the jar. So now with the airspace that's already in between the pieces of holes, that should be about 3/4 of the way full of the solid material. And now I'm going to fill this jar up to the very top with this 100% proof vodka. And just a quick tip, anytime that I'm using fresh, not dried, but fresh plant material, I like to use a high proof vodka like 90 or this 100% proof vodka. As a serious prepper, you can take control of your emergency preparedness by getting an emergency stash of your everyday medications, such as your cholesterol medicine or diabetes medicine or your heart medicine, or you can get an emergency stash of antibiotics known as the Jace case all through Jace Medical. So click the link below to make a major jump in your medical preparedness plan, and be sure to enter the discount code of ethical to save $10 off your order when you do so. Now let's get back to the video. And again, I'm going to pour it to the very top of the jar. I want it to come up to the actually to the rim. And now I'm going to put the lid on it, and I'm going to give it a quick shake to see if it releases any trapped air bubbles inside the jar. Now I'm going to check it, and if my level of alcohol has dropped any, then I would just top it off with more vodka, but it's not. Again, I want the vodka covering the black walnut hulls, because if any part of those hulls are above the vodka line, they could mold and ruin your tincture. So now I'm going to put the lid back on tightly, and I'm going to store this in a cool, dark place for the next at least 6 to 8 weeks. Hey folks, I am not giving medical advice in this video. I'm only showing what I would do in an emergency grid down situation. So if you try anything that you see in these videos, you're doing it at your own risk. Now, after labeling what kind of tincture this is going to be, I'm going to store it in a cool, dark place for the next 8 weeks. And during that time, I'm going to take this out on an almost daily basis, or if not at least every couple days, give a little bit of a shake, and put it back into its storage until that 8-week time period's up. All right, now since it's been 8 weeks, now I'm going to remove the tincture from storage. Okay, now since this is set for 8 weeks, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to strain it using this handy dandy fine mesh here. I'm going to strain this so that the hulls get removed from the tincture themselves. Let's see if I can do this without making a mess. Okay, now since I've strained the holes, now I'm going to pour the finished tincture here into this bottle dropper. Now I'm going to label the front of this natural medicine tincture bottle so that I know what it is, and I always like to make mine expire after about 3 years. They say that tinctures can last 3 to 5 years pretty easily, so I'd just like to err on the side of caution, and I'm going to make mine expire just about 3 years from now. And then on the back side of the bottle, I'm going to put down more directions, but most importantly, I'm going to put down what the dosage is for if I have this ailment. Now let's talk about dosage for this. Now I don't have athlete's foot, but if I did, the first thing that I would do is that I would thoroughly wash and dry my feet, especially where the athlete's foot was between my toes. And then after my feet were dry, then I would drop this natural medicine tincture all over the affected area where the athlete's foot was, and I would thoroughly soak the affected areas with this, and then I would let it air dry, and then after it air dried, then I would put clean shoes and socks on. So if you like this video where I quickly showed you step by step how to make this natural medicine, then comment down below with other elements that you would like to see natural medicines made for, because I'm going to be doing plenty more of these types of videos. And to see more videos on how to make natural medicines for different ailments, then click on the playlist that should be appearing on the screen just about now, and this playlist is going to be growing as I film more of these videos. Anyways folks, this is enough internet for me today. I do need to get back to work, and folks, if you made it this far, hey, thank you very much for watching, and I pray that you have a good night.